Hello, my name is Yamil and I am owner of Divorce in Florida Online. In this video, I actually want to address something that doesn't matter where you live. If you live in the United States, in Puerto Rico, this may be important to you or not, but it's something I just want to talk about because it's happening a lot. And I just want to address it. This is my commentary. I run a document preparation business, so take it with a grain of salt. This is not legal advice in any way. But I just kind of want to bring this up. So I want to talk about this. So lately I've been seeing a lot of comments, or I have talked to a few people about the children, like let's say you're getting separated, you're getting um, a divorce, and you have minor children. If you don't have minor children, this may not apply to you. So if you leave the video now, that's fine. I understand. But if you're planning to have children sometime in the future and you don't have any, this may be something you want to talk about. Or if you know someone that is going through a divorce with children, this is something that you may want to share this video with them, and hopefully it will help them understand. So, uh, his, historically, we women have been in charge of the upbringing of the children. If you look at back in the 50s, 40s, we would usually would be the dad just doing every other weekend, and basically the word custody was thrown around and it had a lot of weight, and usually the custody would be the mom's, period, end of story. It would be very rare that custody would be provided to the dad. And usually would happen if the mom was in a hospital, mentally incapacitated, or back then there was no such thing as women living and doing drugs and all that. Obviously, forward now to 2022, and whenever you watch this in the future, um, that has changed. Now it's just like a mom may be with the children, a dad may be with the children because the mom disappeared and went into the sunset and do her. um, but even without those drastic scenarios, I have seen a lot of women that just basically want to hold on to the children because, well, for whatever reason. And unfortunately, and I'm going to be blunt, and I don't know who I'm going to get upset, but unfortunately, children are used as weapons sometimes. And I have witnessed that. And I am the kind of person, not only am I a professional, but uh, I also work with the people that I feel our energy and our ideals jive, because I have a conscience. And as much as I like money, I'd rather be able to sleep at night. So if a woman comes to me and tells me, yeah, no, I don't want the kids to stay over there with him. And I want him to come and see them here. And I want it to be from like 4 o'clock in the afternoon to 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And I stop. And I make them legit stop. And I tell them, you need to keep calling, keep talking to someone else. I don't meet people in person. Everything, I run an online business, but I basically tell them, just keep calling because I'm not the right fit for you. Um, it's none of my business, and I know that, okay? And some of you that may be in the industry and happen to be watching this video may be like, what are you doing, women? Just get paid, or you get paid to take papers and fill them out, and that's it, and you just file them in a court and kumbaya. And that really is my job. I mean, I don't provide legal advice. I am basically a glorified typist. I'll just happen to know what papers are needed, and I can research, and I work with different counties, so I kind of know, okay, so in this county you're gonna need this forms too, in that form, and then and this county is gonna do it this way, just because I have a lot of experience. And it's really none of my business. I know, but my conscience doesn't let me, because in my mind I worry about what the children are going through, because we're adults. We'll get over it. We'll move on. Children tend to blame themselves when mommy and daddy are fighting. Um, Even if it has nothing to do with them, even if you told them a million times, it's not because it's not you, it's us. The children suffer through us. We make them suffer. We give them pain. And no matter what, a child will always choose mommy and daddy. Always. And will always feel sadness for the other parent. That even if the other parent, even if we feel, well, he didn't do enough, he didn't do shit, I did everything. Yeah, I know. But your whole animosity towards, your ex, it is energy that is going to be, it needs to go somewhere. And usually our children, because they're innocent, are sponges, and it will go to them, and then they will start feeling a certain kind of way. And we're adults, they're going to reflect all of those things. And there's nothing worse than you being the reason why that child didn't have a relationship with that. Listen, he might have been a jerk face. Okay? I'm not saying that he wasn't a jerk face. What I'm saying is that that's still your baby daddy. You still somehow chose that person to leave his seed inside of you. And then you had moments that were good enough that you carried on and the baby was born. And, children are not a weapon. You can't make them suffer or punish them with the child. And let me explain to you why, what has been done legally, at least in the state of Florida. Not every state is the same, not every part of the world is the same. But I can tell you that I don't even know when it happened, and I can tell you that I'm thinking about 8 years ago. The word custody was removed from the vocabulary of the court. They don't say custody. That's not even a thing. If they say it, it's an old-fashioned judge that just never changed the wording, because the word custody made it easy. You stay with the child, you visit the child. Boom, case closed, next. That was how it was. Now it's called establishing parental rights and responsibilities. In the paperwork, if you're not married and you have a child, and the paperwork, that's the name of it, establishing parental rights and responsibilities. If you're married, then everything starts from a shared point of view, shared parental rights and responsibilities point of view. And then sometimes it's 50-50. I've seen parents that they stay nearby. One person has the child 1 week, the other person has the child another week. And the child lives basically in both addresses. One of them has to be used for the school if it's a public school. But, they both share the responsibilities, and it worked, and, and they had no problem. Each of them had their own roof. The child had their own pajamas and their own toothbrush and all that stuff in each houses. In kumbaya, it was great. But I'm seeing a couple of things with this scenario. So this scenario, the tables are like the same. Yes, one of them usually is picked as the home base, like if it's going to apply for insurance, okay, so this is the address for purposes, legal purposes. But it doesn't mean that that's like the custodial parent, you understand? If both parties are responsible equally and the child sleeps overnight equally, okay? A father, usually by the court, is not going to be denied the right of taking the child overnight, okay? Unless there is a problem with that person, with that arrangement, because maybe the guy's in jail, or maybe the guy is, is couch surfing, or maybe and the court will worry about that and will want that, okay, once you got a stable home, let us know, and, then you can, take this parenting plan. So it depends on the court, but the father has the right of having as many sleepovers with the child as he wants. And the parent has the right of, unfortunately, of bringing whoever they want around. I've had situations that the mother said, oh, I don't want his girlfriend to be around. Can't do that. You cannot tell your ex. Like, it's a thing of control. Like, I understand we have a child. Listen, I have 4. We have a child, 9 months in our belly. we create a particular bond, and we don't think that the other parent will ever care enough or will ever do enough, or no matter what they do, it's never going to be enough because we carry the child. And that's a biology thing that they had nothing to do with it. It's just the way it is. But just because that's the case, that doesn't give you more legal rights to impose how and what and how things go with the other parent. With that said, I don't recommend to say he can come and pick him up and do whatever whenever. No, that doesn't work, and the court won't approve it. Usually, the way they want to see it is, I mean, I've seen maybe a couple of cases that they were not forced to write it down verbatim, and it was like the person was out of the country, and like it's like maybe once a year, a couple of weeks, and who's going to pay for the air travel, and the other person left like undocumented, he couldn't come back, so it's a whole different issue. But most of the times when both parents are local, it is absolutely critical that you guys come up with some kind of parenting plan, which you can break as long as both parties are in agreement, okay? Without having to go back to court and redacting everything. Now, if you guys are not in agreement, and okay, so now he works every weekend, or he wants to party every weekend, and now he wants to pick him up like Tuesday to Thursday, but what about school, and he lives an hour away, then that's different. Okay, hold on, that's not, it's always what's best for the children. Always, always, always. Is this going to work for the benefit of the children, and how is it going to work for the benefit of the children? I have another video in my YouTube channel about child support. Same thing with child support. Like, a lot of women say, I don't want child support. But then if the mother gets sick, if the mother changes jobs, can't make that kind of money, maybe one of the children develop a disability or is sick, and now money is a problem, then she wants him to pay what he's supposed to pay, but now he said, well, it's not on the paper. Which is why I always say, have it on the paper. Have it on the paper. Same thing with parenting plan. Have it on the paper. Why? Because if things go down, things go crazy, the other person starts not acting right, you can say, you know what, going forward, we need to go with what's on the paper. And that avoids having to go to court, having to get the other person served, and it's going to take months to finally get in front of a judge, and the judge is going to send you to mediation, and mediation doesn't work, and then you got to go back. You can avoid all of that if you, from the get-go, sit down, create a parenting plan that makes sense and is for the best, for the benefit of the children. Even if you hate that person, your child probably don't hate that person. Now, at a certain age, the child cannot be forced to follow the parenting plan. That's a different story. If the child becomes like a teenager, and he's like, I'm not going. I don't want to go. I'm good. I'm Gucci. I don't care that, I see him every other Friday night, and I go home because my friends are down the street. That's okay. I'm not saying the child has to be obligated, but but while the child is young and whatnot, having a parenting plan is really going to help to set some guidelines. And yes, again, you can break them if you're both in agreement. Hey, no problem, But having that on writing, in case some things don't work out, you'll be able to say, let's look at this paper. We got to go back to that because I don't want to argue with you anymore. All right? So I hope this helps. And I'm sorry if this ruffled any, I'm a mama bear too. I've gone through stuff. It was difficult for me sometimes to say, okay, I would tell my ex what I thought of a situation. I didn't tell him what to do, but it was hard not to tell him what the are you thinking. That's one under the bridge. Me and him on a great friendly terms. His new wife is fantastic. But it took us a while to get to that place where we were all communicating healthy, and and being able. Now the kids are teenagers, and we live 5 hours away now, so it's a different story. But I went through that. I know what it feels like to wanting to keep the baby chickens protected from sometimes from their own blood when they're not acting right. But you have to take into consideration that the other person has the same rights you have, and while you have every right to protect your children, if the children are not being harmed, letting go of some of that control will actually may be good for you. That's all I'm saying. All right. Please comment down below, even if you disagree. That's okay. I don't mind. I like the banter. I like to learn different perspectives, and I really appreciate you. I hope that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't, because it's not just about actual preparation of divorce. I do like to make videos like this of social commentary, so that we can all, learn a little bit of perspective. All right, until the next video. Bye.